One of the most profitable food business ideas to run in 2020 is a home-based food business, or as it's known, cottage food business. This video, I will give you all the information you need to know to get your food business, home-based bakery or candy business in the state of Arkansas up and running, and we're going to do it right now. So in the state of Arkansas, it is definitely a profitable food business idea to get started from home for one big reason. And well, that's because you're doing it from your home. And to be honest with you, it's a very minimal investment right off the bat. So when I started my retail bakery, of course, one of the biggest expenses every month was the rent. Using your home as the small business to begin is absolutely genius. And also, keep in mind, there's a multitude of tax benefits to this. You definitely want to check with your accountant on that. So let's jump into the 6 steps to take in order to get your food business started in Arkansas. So number 1, where to sell. That's the first question I get from a lot of subscribers is where can I sell my home-based food business? So one thing about Arkansas is a little restrictive as far as where you could sell to. Specifically, I would mention right off the bat, restaurants, wholesale, mail order being like online sales and shipping it outside the state or within the state. That's something that's prohibited. So as far as where you're going to sell it to in Arkansas, you want to make sure that it's like farmers markets, local events, fairs and festivals and those types of things. And of course, from home. If you're comfortable having people come to your home, you can definitely do that. That's kind of a really cool thing. But again, that's got to be something where you could potentially have strangers coming to your house and picking up food products that you make. So the one benefit, though, about Arkansas is there is no sales limit. So when it comes to how much you can actually sell, Arkansas is fantastic because it doesn't have a cap on that. So if you sold $60,000 a year from your home, well, fantastic. But of course, as always, make sure you keep track of that and you keep track of your receipts and such. That's for sure. So the first step is where to sell. We've covered that. Step number 2, what types of foods can you sell? So the list that you can sell is actually pretty decent, to be honest with you. It's pretty similar to most states when it comes to cottage food sales. Anything from cakes, muffins, and donuts and brownies, baked goods in general, as long as there's what's known as non-potentially hazardous products. When you begin into creating potentially hazardous food products, those are items that actually incorporate either meats or cheeses or temperature or time-sensitive products. So if you made, let's say, a cheese Danish and you've got cheese on the top, you definitely don't want to sell that because that is a temperature and time-sensitive product. When it comes to breads or cookies, scones, and cakes and biscuits or muffins, that is fine. When it comes to baked candies, for instance, or it happens to be fudge or let's say cotton candy or brittles, those are perfectly fine as well. Condiments like honey and syrups. Pastries that are pies and cones and other types of deep dish like pies are fine, but make sure they're items that are not going to be something that's going to be time or temperature sensitive, okay? So anything like you've got pies that have cheeses in it or it's got meringues or those types of things, custards or creams, that's a no-go, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, you're starting to listen to this, so keep in mind I'm going to give you a bunch of resources down below. So when you're done listening, check out below this video in the description section. Open it up with the little arrow. There'll be a drop-down menu. I'll send you a whole bunch of other additional information too to help you understand this, okay? So we've also got chocolate-covered fruits. You've got crackers, and you've got pretzels and granolas. That is fine. Now, prohibited foods. What type of foods can you not sell? What are some of those restrictions? So things like nut butters, apple sauces, mustards, and extracts. Jerky, so drying meats and meat jerkies, that's a no-go as well. Salsas, low-acid canned foods, fermented foods, coffee beans, candied apples. And again, check the list in down below. I'm just going to give you a handful here and cover some of these basics for the 6 steps. The reason why is that a lot of these are really risky. If you're not doing them correctly, bacteria can form, people could get sick. If they're acidic foods, if the acid or pH is not properly done right, people can really get sick. So stay away from those, okay? Now, as far as the other limitations, in your kitchen, you can't use commercial-styled kitchen equipment. So obviously, in your home kitchen, you don't want to bring in a big 50-pound mixer for dough, for bread, and that type of thing. You can't do that. Direct sales only. That's another thing. So when you go to a farmer's market or a festival or a fair, you have to be directly selling it to the customer. You hand them the product, and then they purchase the order, and then the transaction's finished. Okay? Now, the other thing was interstate sales, as I had mentioned before. You can't sell a product and then ship it from Arkansas to California. Okay? That's considered interstate sales. Those are definitely not allowed. Okay. Now let's move on to the next step. We've covered step 3, which is the restrictions. Number 4, this is probably the most important part, business legality. So let's get into that really quick. Now, doing this from home, I highly recommend you incorporate yourself. Create a business. Don't do this as a hobby where your personal life can be potentially at risk if somebody gets sick. And if you've never created an LLC or incorporated as a business, again, down below I'll give you a link to IncFile. You definitely check out IncFile. You can literally do it online. Create a business, get your LLC up and running, and also food business insurance. Now you're probably thinking, wow, this is a lot to invest up front. It's really not. Just a few $100 up front to get a business up and running and keep it legal and protect yourself is worth its weight in gold. Trust me. You want to have food producers insurance. I'll put some more information again down in the description below. Check out those links and get yourself some insurance as well to be safe. Okay. So now the next one, step 5, not only do you need food insurance, but the type of auto car insurance that you have, you're going to double check on that, because if you're going to use your personal vehicle, that's going to be used for business purposes. You need to make sure you're protected. So commercial auto insurance is something you need to check a policy online for that as well. You can simply go to Google and type in auto insurance policy quote or something to that effect, and then pull up those sites and take a look, because traditional standard car insurance policy may not cover if you're using it for a business purpose. Okay. Going to farmers markets, business purpose. Going to a festival, well, that's a business purpose too. And if you're getting your ingredients locally and you're making those trips back and forth to whoever it is that you're getting your ingredients, all of that's considered for business purposes, right? Because you're doing that, you're using your vehicle for that. So make sure that you've got auto insurance that is for commercial use. Okay. All right. Let's move on to step 6, labeling and logo and packaging. Last step, step 6, make sure that you have the label requirements. So in Arkansas, you want to make sure you have the business address. You can't use a P.O. box. So if you're making it from your home, guess what? Your label has to have the address where the product is made. Your business name, if it's Sarah's Cookie Business, you need to have that on the label. Obviously, too, ingredients, ultra important. Make sure you have a list of the ingredients in your product. Then the product name. If it's Sarah's Famous Chocolate Chip Cookies, then it needs to be Sarah's Famous Chocolate Chip Cookies. The product name and the name of the business needs to be on there with the ingredients. And lastly, a statement of where it's made. Now, this can kind of vary from state. This statement is basically you explaining on the label that if the customer is buying it, whether you're having it inspected by a health department or not, it needs to be on there. That the product was produced in a kitchen that's not inspected by the state. Or something to the effect of this kitchen is not inspected by the USDA or any other agency. It is prepared at home. Now, every state's slightly different, so make sure you get what is needed for Arkansas. Okay. Now, really quick, as I mentioned, that's the 6 basic steps to get up and running. And then check out the links down below for more specific information on Arkansas. Okay. So if you have any questions about this, let me know, and I'll see you guys on the next video. So if you're looking to start your own food business, check out these videos for more resources. Profitable food business ideas, how to start a food truck business, learn all about cottage food laws to create a home business for selling food, and how to start a catering business from home. These and many more small food business ideas are all at your fingertips when you subscribe to Marketing Food Online. So if you're looking to start your own food business, check out these videos for more resources. Profitable food business ideas, how to start a food truck business, learn all about cottage food laws to create a home business for selling food, and how to start a catering business from home. These and many more small food business ideas are all at your fingertips when you subscribe to Marketing Food Online.